The female protagonist is reborn as an infant into a novel world right when the original story has reached its ending. Her mother, Yusong, is the classic vicious supporting female character in the book. Once a pampered, arrogant young lady born into wealth and privilege, she suffers a double blow: betrayal by her beloved Shenkyu and the sudden bankruptcy of her family. Overnight, she falls from being admired by all to a target of public mockery and scorn. Yu Song and Shenkyu have known each other since childhood and swore an oath that Shenkyu would only love Yu Song for a lifetime. At 18, Shenkyu is utterly devoted to her, embracing her strong possessiveness and strict control as sweet affection. But by the age of 24, his endless restraint makes him feel deeply depressed. Teased by others as a henpecked husband, he grows weary and falls for Linear Anne, a woman with a temperament completely opposite to Yu Song's. He hides his affair out of guilt, yet the thrill of forbidden affection gradually overwhelms his remorse. When lies collapse completely, the two quarrel bitterly, insult and hurt each other, divorce eventually, and vow never to interact again. Yu Song is extreme and sensitive by nature, loving Shenkyu obsessively. She strictly controls his daily life, fixed 3 phone calls every day, all his clothes chosen by her, and he must return home before 7 every evening. Yet no amount of tight control can keep his heart from straying. Strands of strange chestnut hair on his coat, unfamiliar perfume on his collar, a silk scarf found in his pocket that does not belong to her, deliberate estrangement at bedtime, and evasive eyes during hugs all arouse Yu Song's suspicion. She hires private detectives and is shocked to find Shenku's lover is Linear on a woman she has detested at first sight and once mocked together with Shenkyu as a scheming green tea. Yu Song tries to save her marriage by seeking a talk, only to be rejected. When she waits for her at his company, she sees Shenkyu shield Linear and behind him without hesitation. To comfort his lover, Shenkyu even slaps himself and kneels down to beg Yu Song not to divorce. Moved momentarily, Yu Song forgives him on the condition that he cuts off all contact with Linear Anne. However, Linear Anne takes the initiative to pester Shenkyu, soft-hearted at her distressed appearance. Shenkyu leaves home with her and does not return for a whole month. When he comes back on a rainy day, instead of making up, Shenkyu angrily confronts Yu Song with photos, accusing her of deliberately racising You're an unruining an important banquet for her. Yu Song bursts into tears of grievance, questioning while Linear Anne, a homewrecker, can live such a smooth life. Shenkyu feels only tiredness and wants to escape, proposing a divorce coldly. Enraged, Yu Song slaps him, blaming him for choosing betrayal instead of solving marital problems. Provoked, Shenkyu drags her to a mirror to let her see her haggard, resentful self. Comparing their current misery with the happiness on their wedding day, Yu Song finally lets go. With love long gone, she signs the divorce agreement calmly, wishing never to meet again. Only a month after the divorce, the Yu family goes bankrupt, with all assets and bank accounts frozen. At this time, Yu Song unexpectedly finds herself pregnant, having only thought she had gained weight before the bankruptcy. Left with only 20,000 yuan in old New Year gift money from relatives, she is rushed to the hospital with sudden abdominal pain and gives birth to a daughter by accident. Proud and stubborn as ever, she insists on staying in a VIP maternity ward, leaving her with merely 2,000 yuan after the expense. Yu Song is at a loss as a first-time mother. She has never planned to have a child, used to monopolizing all of Shenkyu's love alone. In an instant, she loses her family wealth, love and social status, yet gains a daughter that splits her life apart. Having lived a sheltered life, she knows nothing about daily expenses or ordinary living standards. For the sake of her baby daughter, she forces herself to start over from scratch, learning to take care of herself and an infant. Replacing idle novels with parenting books, clumsily learning childcare from nurses, and buying expensive formula despite financial strain, leaving her with just 200 yuan. Her daughter is born with congenital heart disease, and the doctor warns she may not live to adulthood. The huge medical bills become an unbearable burden for Yusong, already emotionally fragile after giving birth. She is hit by one misfortune after another. Psychologists and nurses all sympathize with her. Deprived of parental love since childhood, Yusong is spoiled and arrogant due to her parents' failed marriage, relying entirely on her family status for confidence. Stripped of wealth and fame, she is as fragile as a budding flower unable to withstand any storm. She once humbled herself to win back Shunkyu, making a fool of herself just to hold onto a doomed love. Desperate for money to pay medical bills, Yusong borrows from former wealthy friends, only to face ridicule, humiliation and betrayal. Her once closest friend Lin admits she has long envied Yusong's privileged life and rejoices at her downfall, even insulting her to bark like a dog for money. The coldness of human relationships crushes Yusong completely. She musters up her courage to call her ex-husband Shunkyu for a loan, yet ambiguous laughter and indifference on the other side instantly shatter her last hope. With no other options, she spends her last money on a crowded slow train and travels to the misty Gyeonggan region to seek refuge with her estranged mother. Her maternal grandmother, suffering from long-term depression, Yusong's grandmother divorced years ago and lived in seclusion, once leaving home without a word when Yusong grew up. Reunited, the grandmother chides Yusong for her willfulness yet hides deep care and affection. Living in a quiet Gyeonggan courtyard with blooming roses and a fluffy white cat, the grandmother provides shelter yet refuses to spoil Yusong, making her cover all living expenses, except the granddaughter's medical fees by herself. Gradually, Yusong lets go of her young lady arrogance, learning to cook, trim garden branches and do housework. Bickering daily with her grandmother, she finally receives the belated maternal love she has always craved. A year passes. Her daughter turns 1 year old, cute and well-behaved, healing all the pain in Yusong's heart. Tragedy strikes soon after. Her grandmother is frail and sensitive to the cold, suffering from persistent coughs that develop into a high fever. Eventually, she passes away after a long illness. Losing her last family support, Yusong grieves deeply and resolves to live strong only for her daughter. To afford her daughter's ongoing medical treatment, Yusong has to find work. Labeled as the notorious vicious supporting character and shadowed by her ex-husband's influence, no company dares to hire her. She gives up makeup to live an ordinary life and finally gets employed at a flower shop, relying on the flower arrangement skills taught by her grandmother, a job she enjoys and can sustain herself with. Shunko and Yoran visit their daughter in the hospital later. The infant daughter instinctively rejects Shunko. Yusong faces her ex-husband calmly, no longer trapped by past love and hatred, and signs a child care agreement to clarify his legal responsibilities. Filled with guilt, Shunkyu offers help whenever she is in trouble, accompanied by the gentle and mild Lin Yor-an. Yet Yusong follows her grandmother's last words to move forward and cuts off all ties with Shunkyu. She sends a legal notice to her fair-weather friend Lin to reclaim all expensive gifts given in the past, selling them to subsidize living expenses and facing public criticism with calm dignity. Under her careful care, her daughter's condition gradually improves. Yusong transforms thoroughly from a spoiled lady into a prudent, skillful and life-wise single mother. Peace does not last long. Holding a grudge, Lin Yuan instigates others to flood the flower shop with malicious bad reviews, forcing the boss to fire Yusong. No longer impulsive, Yusong accepts her dismissal quietly and investigates the mastermind. She confronts the online trolls with a bodyguard, pressing them to confess that Lin Yuan is behind the scheme. Meanwhile, Shangku finally sees through Lin Yuan's true colors. Anonymous photos reveal her innocent white flower persona is all a disguise. She has chaotic private relationships, dating multiple men simultaneously and spending Shangku's money to support them. Regret and disgust overwhelm Shangku as he realizes he abandoned the sincere Yusong for a hypocritical liar. Soon after, Shangku is diagnosed with syphilis, his condition deteriorating rapidly until he is bedridden. Dropping her pretense, Lin Yuan abandons him completely. Tormented by illness, Miyue constantly dreams of the innocent 18-year-old Yu Song drowning in endless regret. His parents spare no effort seeking medical treatment, but cannot save him. After Shen Qiu's death, his will leaves half his inheritance to Yu Song, and his parents give an additional sum for their granddaughter's upbringing. Yu Song pays off all debts, buys a flower shop and runs a small homestay near her grandmother's courtyard, settling down peacefully in Jianghan. The anonymous photos exposing Lin Yuan are actually prepared and sent secretly by her grandmother before passing away, silently redressing grievances for her daughter. Having endured ups and downs, Yu Song becomes gentle, mature and open-minded. She hides her sharp temper, keeps silent about her sufferings, and makes sincere new friends in the small town. No one recognizes her as the once notorious arrogant young lady. At the end of the year, she takes family photos with her daughter, keeping them together with her grandmother's portrait. Finally letting go of past love and fate's hardships, Yu Song lives a quiet and peaceful life in the misty town, accompanying her daughter to grow up and finding ultimate redemption in ordinary life.